Welcome back to my channel. This week's story is called Meanie Head. Let's begin. "No, Dad," my son Brody yelled. "You don't understand." "I understand that you are making a choice that will destroy your life," I yelled back. "Think about what you are doing. You can't fall in love with a man. That's impossible." "We did." Our argument didn't happen in some private place, but in our apartment living room, with all the windows open to catch the afternoon breeze. Everybody heard us. Brody's friend, Gary, I refused to call him boyfriend, stood in the open door, jaw clenched, fists clenched. If his eyes could shoot lasers, they would have. "Don't be absurd," I said. "What kind of a life can you expect to have? What will your neighbors think? What will I think? What will your boss think?" "It's none of their business," Brody said. "How about kids? I've been saving up some of your old things so your kids can play with them. What about our family? Who will continue the name? If your mom were alive and she heard you talk like this," I said, "she'd start crying." "No, she wouldn't," Brady screamed. "Dad, you don't understand. I swear you are the most bullheaded, stubborn..." Slap. The sudden silence was as loud as a nuclear blast. I stared at my son, not believing what I had just done. I had never hit my kid, never spanked him, but I had just slapped him. Trying to salvage something of this disaster, I said, "I don't want to hear any talk like this. The subject is closed." Brody's cheek had reddened a little. His friend stood next to him and held Brody's shoulders. They both went back to Brody's room. "No," I said. "Gary, you are not allowed in the apartment. Leave." "Dad, we're both 21. You can't treat us like this," Brody said. "This is my house, my rules," I said. "Fine," Gary said. "I'll wait outside. That doesn't belong to you." I went into the kitchen. Brody went into his room. This had not gone well. Maybe a disaster was a better word for it. Retreating into my room, I turned the television on, but not too loud. From the other room, Brody said, "Thanks. I'm sorry about this." A pause. Many odd bumps and thumps. "Give me a minute and I'll be down," he said. "To say goodbye," I yelled. The door opened but didn't close. A few minutes later, Gary said, "Is that it?" "Mostly," Brody said. "Let's get out of here," Gary said. "No, you're not," I yelled. "Brody, get back here." The door closed. "Brody, I want to talk to you." A car took off, and then only silence remained. "Brody, get your butt in here," I yelled. Nothing. Brody, I got up and stomped into the living room. "Brody, I want to talk to you." No Brody. He wasn't in the kitchen or the bathroom. I pushed his door open. Empty closet. His books and games gone. Laptop gone. His backpack gone. Pillow gone. I went into the bathroom. Toothbrush gone. The specialty body wash he ordered every month gone. I ran to the kitchen. His collection of mugs gone. The hall closet. His coat, jacket, an old baseball mitt and bat gone. His bike gone. The damned kid had moved out in the few minutes I had watched television. I got out my phone and called him. Nothing. I sent him a text. No response. Was he ignoring me? Did he block me? He wouldn't do that. I was his dad. I bet if I give him a day, he'll crawl back begging to be let in. In love. With Gary. What was Brody thinking? I had slapped him. He wasn't thinking. Stupid kid. He'll come back when he sees how good his life was. My footfalls echoed in the empty apartment. He'd come back. He lived here. But I had hit my own kid. What had I done? He'll come back. Then I could apologize. Every parent gets mad with their kids sometimes, right? Brody will understand. I sat in the living room staring at the empty closet, waiting for him to return, for him to call, to text, anything. Nothing came. A strange fear started to grow in my stomach. He'll call. He needed time to cool off. That's it. I grabbed my keys. Maybe if I drove around a bit, I would see him, or Gary. When had they fallen in love? When had they changed from friends to best friends to lovers? Had they taken that step? It was an adolescent fantasy. Nothing more. Brody would come to reason. What if he didn't? What if he didn't come home? I can't think like that. Instead, I went to a bar and ordered a beer. None of the regulars were there. I didn't know anyone. Good. I didn't want to be social right now. That little bit of fear in my stomach grew to a big bit of fear. I checked my phone. No messages. No text. What do I do if he didn't come back? Had I just lost my son? My wife had died, and now I drove my son out? I didn't like the feeling in my stomach at all. I took a deep breath. I was right. Brody couldn't make a life with Gary. That's ridiculous. Two guys sat at the bar, chatting. Were they two friends? Or a couple? As soon as I finished the beer, I left. Two women walked past me, chatting about a new store. Were they a couple? Or just friends? I tried to see if they had a ring. No ring. But one woman grabbed the other's hand and squealed. Women did that all the time. It didn't mean anything. A man and a woman talked on the other side of the street, holding hands. That's the sign of a couple. Then they kissed and laughed about something. Did Brody and Gary hold hands? Did they kiss? Guys don't kiss guys. Do they? I'm driving myself crazy. Brody will call. He will. I know it. But I wish he would call soon. I stopped at the grocery store, hoping a bottle of wine would simplify things. Maybe I could pick some of Brody's favorite things. Brody liked bacon on his hamburger and lots of cheese. We'd grill burgers tonight with bacon. He liked that spicy seasoning salt in his fries. I bought extra potatoes for fries. As I walked to the checkout, two guys stood at the family planning section. The nice way to say, "Oh, the sex stuff you need is right here." One guy picked up a box of 12 condoms. The other said something and picked up a different box. They held hands, the sign of a couple. The first guy said, "Bananas." They both laughed. The second guy kissed the first. I don't know why. Yes, I do. I walked up to them and spoke before my nerves stopped me. "Can I ask you two a question?" They both turned to look at me. The first guy placed an arm around the second. "Sure, I'm Will. This is Kirby." This might sound abrasive or rude, I said, but I really need to know the answer. "What is it?" Kirby asked. "Do your parents know about your relationship, and if they do, how did they react?" I blurted out. "Your son tried talking to you?" Will said. "And his friend," I said. I couldn't quite say boyfriend. It was too much to process right now. It didn't go well. Both Will and Kirby said, "Bananas." "I don't understand," I said. "I thought Mom would get mad," Kirby said, but she's okay with us." "Okay," Will said. "She bought us the leopard print condoms to try and embarrass me." "Those were better than the bubblegum flavored ones," Kirby said. "I like those," Will said. "I don't know how she finds some of the things she does." "She's okay with it," I said. "Mom is very okay with it," Kirby said, "and my sister loves gossiping about us." "What about your parents, Will?" I said. Will paused a moment. "Things haven't been the same since I came out. I moved in with Kirby and his mom. They sort of adopted me." "You don't see your folks?" I said. "Things have chilled between us," Will said quietly. "I get courtesy invites to family functions, and Kirby and I go, but they don't know what to say to us." "You go together?" I said. "Of course, we're a couple," Kirby said. "Someday they'll realize their mistake. Until then, we have to be patient." Things had most definitely chilled between Brody and me. I didn't want that at all. "Thanks," I said. "I'll let you guys go. You've given me a lot to think about." Too much to think about. Brody still hadn't called or texted. Would he even want to? The knot of fear that was my stomach tightened. I had hit my son. I wouldn't want to text me. Why would anyone else? Somehow, I had to see him. I bought my groceries and sat in my car. How would I even find him? My old texts? My carrier kept all the old ones, even the ones from years ago. Brody had once texted me the address of a friend he was visiting back when he was in high school. Gary. It took a half an hour to find it. I wrote it down on the side of the grocery sack. I hadn't been this nervous since I proposed to Brody's mother, or when she was in the hospital about to give birth to our son. or when Brody had fallen from his first bike and broken his arm. Brody would never want to see me. I needed some insurance. I went back into the store and bought a few things. It didn't take long to find Gary's place. He lived in a big house with a porch, nice trimmed lawn, manicured hedges, nice flowers. Somebody cared. I drove up and parked. Brody and Gary both sat on the porch in a wicker love seat. Brody stiffened. Gary did too. Some girl played in the yard with a couple of friends. My fear and nervousness were worse, like the second time I asked out Brody's mom. She had said no the first time. Old man, I said to myself, if you ever want to see your son again, you have to do this. I climbed out of the car, taking the sack with me. My heart beat loud and fast. The walk up to their porch stretched miles and felt like hours. Who's that? The girl asked. My dad, Brody said. He had gone white. His eyes were red and swollen. Gary held Brody's hand. Mom, the girl yelled, Meanie Head is here. I don't like you. You made Brody cry. Mom, Mom. Cried? I had damaged our relationship more than I had thought, maybe even destroyed it. A woman walked out of the house and folded her arms. You have the balls to show up here? I want to talk to Brody, I said, alone. Brody is marrying my son, she said. That makes him part of our family. What you say to him, you say to all of us. I swallowed. Marrying? Brody tried to tell you, Gary said. Dad, you've made it very clear, Brody said. We have nothing more to say to each other. I'm not letting you get close to my fiancé ever again, Gary said. Fiancé? I had destroyed everything between us in one afternoon. Yeah, Meanie Head, the girl said. I get 2 brothers now. You don't get any. Time to be quiet, little one, the woman said, and then turned to me. Since you're here, you might as well talk. If you're going to say more of the stupid things you told Brody earlier, then you can get back in your car and leave without opening your mouth. If you dare hit Brody again, I will call the police. Everybody knew what happened. Worse yet, I had the sinking feeling that these people knew my son better than I did, and in one horrible afternoon, I had become the enemy. My stomach tightened into a tiny black hole. I didn't know what to say to heal this. How do I rebuild something that I shattered? Brody had no reason to listen to me, to trust me. But I had to try. I reached into the sack and pulled out the small package I had wrapped. I looked at the green wrapping, knowing that I had placed my hopes on 2 strangers I had met at the grocery store. I tossed the package at Brody and Gary. What's this? Brody said. A peace offering, I said. Brody opened it. Will and Kirby had inspired me. I bought the glow-in-the-dark variety. It also had a simple message written on the side. I'm sorry. Would it get us talking again? Brody looked up from the condoms. Dad? I brought out the 2 wine bottles. I was hoping you would come home so we could talk, like we used to. I bought meat for hamburgers and bacon and buns. I was thinking that you, me, and Gary could barbecue them, and we could pretend this afternoon never happened. I shouldn't have slapped you. If there was one thing I could take back, that would be it. Gary and Brody looked at each other. I was angry. I didn't understand, and I still don't, I said. But I don't want to lose you. Maybe you and Gary can make me understand. Maybe I can have a second son to go along with my wonderful one. A second woman came out, taking the first one's hand. They must be a couple, because they both had rings. I'm an idiot. A stupid idiot. A stupid blind idiot. A stupid blind middle-aged idiot trapped in the 18th century. Not anymore. I don't want everybody thinking I'm a meanie head, I said. What do you say? Grill some burgers and start over, please? Pause as Brody glanced at Gary seemed to last days. This is me trying to say sorry, I said. Brody nodded, and a smile escaped. Did you say you brought bacon? What did I tell you? Bacon solves everything, the second woman said. I'll get the grill fired up. Brody, we need some introductions.